Hello, angels. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Confessional, where we just speak on anything that really matters. I know people were passionate about Telltale games, and I can understand why. I mean, shit, I was one of them. But I come from a different breed of Telltale games players. I grew up in a different time when they were just starting up. And they were very good too. I think everybody knows that everybody has a respect for Telltale games. But I specifically want to talk about the rise, the fall, and the return. And how I feel. In case you didn't know, Telltale Games were the masterminds behind The Wolf Among Us and The Walking Dead, but they've been around or they had been around before the original one got shut down in 2004. So let's start there. I wasn't originally going to skip the ending over with and then finish with the beginning. But that wouldn't make any sense. So let's start with the beginning. Telltale Games started, like I said, in 2004. How, might you ask? Well, let's start with what started their entire genre. It was LucasArts, one of the subsidiaries for legendary George Lucas, who invented Star Wars. LucasArts was around. They weren't necessarily just known for making the Indiana Jones or the Star Wars games. No, they were also very known for their funny point-and-click games, such as the 4 Monkey Island games that came out, Sam and Max Hit the Road, Full Throttle, Maniac Mansion, whatever the fuck it's called, Day of the Tentacles, and of course, the cult classic Grim Fandango. Those games really lit fire up their ass, and kept them going up until this point. And all those games were very successful. People loved them. They were cult classics among LucasArts' catalog. But of course, what starts beautiful ends up in an ugly reality. In 2004, they were working on their first ever 3D point-and-click game, Sam and Max Freelance Police. Now, I'm sure you're wondering. Actually, before I get to that, wait. This was the game they were making, and it was supposed to come out in late 04, I think. There was even a trailer at E3, I think, maybe. But it got canceled. So, what happened afterwards was those people who worked on that game left. Double-digit number of employees. I think below 20. Might have been 11, between 11 and 15. I can't remember, but it wasn't a lot. They left and created what would be known as Telltale Games. Now you may be wondering, well, was there a trailer? Abso-fucking-lutely. And we're going to show it right here, right now.
In a world where evil lurks around every corner, where villains rule the streets with impunity, and hope is a four-letter word, a mighty force for justice will return. And heaven help the guilty.
You crack me up, little buddy. Commissioner, how's the rash?
Why won't you just die? This is so degrading.
Shut up and dance. Holy bouncing Buddha, Max. We're in 3D.
It's been done.
Well, now that's the only known thing around of that project besides some screenshots of the office. It's really tragic. It could have been great. Could have been if they would have finished it and released it. They didn't. So, in 2005, we're actually going to cut to the next part of this. In 2005, they released Telltale Texas Hold'em. That was the first thing they came out with. Now, I particularly want to go into part of why I think they just... There's a couple of reasons why I think Telltale ended up the way it was and why it fell on its knees and just withered away. I want to particularly look at release patterns and licensing. And I'm also going to draw some comparisons because we wrestling fans know all about that licensing. So in between 05 and 13, there were almost 60 games that come out. Or maybe 60 different episodes. Don't ask me. You can count them up yourselves. I'm particularly only going to look at the games that they developed and published. So in between 05 and Poker Night 2, 13, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15, 21 different games came out in between 05 and 2013. So, February they put this game out, Texas Hold'em, and then by September they put out another, and then March 06 they put out the CSI game, and then by April they put out the second Bone game, and then by October through April, 06 to 07, Sam & Max Season 1 came out. This is part of their rise in popularity. Got, oh shit, it was huge. And then by September 07, another CSI game came out. And by November, Season 2 for Sam & Max. Between November and April 08. And then by August of 08, Strong Bad came out. Through December. Back then, they would do, when it looks like one episode a month. So let's say Strong Bad here. August, September, October, November, December. Yes, one episode a month. There'd be times where there'd be a split, where they'd miss a month. Because I was trying to draw comparisons November, December, January, February, March, April. I guess I'm just confusing myself. And then by March '09, Wallace and Gromit Grand Adventures came out. Up through July. Ooh. But in between here, y'all started on Tales of Monkey Island. June 7th, they put out first episode here. July 30th, they put out the last episode for Wallace and Gromit. And Tales of Monkey Island went through December. Then October, they put out CSI, another CSI game. I guess this is just all in one, like the other one here, yeah. And then April 2010, Season 3 of Sam & Max came out. It's my fucking mic. God, okay, we're good. Oops. And then June, in between here, they started some other projects as well, such as this one, Nelson Tether's Puzzle Agent, in June 2010. And then they finished all with Season 3 Sam & Max in October. Another CSI game, god damn, why? And then, I love Poker Night Inventory. There's another standalone game that was in November, and then December, Back to the Future. That started in 2010. Fuck me, I didn't know that. Through June 2011. And then maybe a week after that, put out the second Puzzle Agent. By November, you got Jurassic Park. And then by December through March 2012, Law & Order Legacies. And then by April through November, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. That's 7 months. So they had missed a month or two in between. And then Poker Night 2 released April 2013. A couple months before the 400 Days update, or DLC for The Walking Dead. Now, if you think that's a bit of a crazy schedule to uphold, that's their fucking normal. That was their normal. In between 05 and 13, that was their fucking normal. But in 2013, as I'm fixing to fucking demonstrate, the tides kind of turned. This is in particular this is the rest of their catalog between October 2013 to March 2019. This is not much compared to this. But this is a normal fucking schedule compared to what I'm about to explain here. So, in October 2013, they started on The Wolf Among Us, which was hugely successful. Just like the first season of The Walking Dead was. But, before they could even finish that, they started on The Walking Dead Season 2 in December. But they had to keep going with The Wolf Among Us until July 2014. And then a month afterwards, they finished The Walking Dead Season 2. But in between... Wait, let me see. Okay, no, and then in November, they started on Tales from the Borderlands. But in between... they were working on Game of Thrones. Less than a month, just a few days after they start working on one game, put out one game, they put out another. This is almost a 1 year gap with Borderlands. It's almost a 1 year gap because they were also putting out Game of Thrones, which was also a 1 year gap almost. because they were putting these two games out at the same time. So by October and November, they were able to finish these two. But in between Game of fucking Thrones and Borderlands, they just started putting out Minecraft Story Mode. A week before the last episode for Tales from the Borderlands to come out. And then up through March 2016, that was the last episode for that. And then in February, though, but a month beforehand, in February, they started putting out The Walking Dead and Michonne. But luckily, that was just a month. It was 3 episodes up through April. And then in June through September, they put out another 3 episodes for Minecraft Story Mode. But also, a month before that ended, they started putting out Batman. And then shortly after that, in December, when Batman ended, 2016, a week afterwards, they started putting out, was it season 3 of The Walking Dead? Just a week after that. Up through May 2017. But in April 2017, they were working on Guardians of the Galaxy, starting to put that out. And then a month afterwards, they finished The Walking Dead. And then they were working on Guardians of the Galaxy up through November. But then they started working on Minecraft Season 2 in between, months beforehand. In between that, they're also working on Batman the Enemy Within Season 2. So you've got literally 3 games they're working on at the same time. And this is between, let's see, July through November, October, whatever the fuck. They're pushing 3 things out at once. Like you're wafting your money at a stripper. Fucking handing that shit out. And then in December 2017, they put out the Walking Dead collection, and then lastly, they were still working on it. Oh god. And after all that, a year later, from Batman, started working on their last season of The Walking Dead, which was real tragic, because it was the be-all, end-all of that company. Once episode 2 was coming out, then they shut that shit down. And there was a whole bunch of worries of whether, they're going to finish the series? Who's going to finish it? But they ended up finishing under a different company. Now, do you notice the difference in these schedules? This may look like a lot, but look at the fucking dates in between. They didn't do this 2-3 games in between while putting others out at the same time much here. Besides Monkey Island and Wallace and Gromit. And CSI. That's one. Let me make sure. I don't want to look like an ass here. December here. Yeah, just one. Alright. So they did that once. They did this numerous times. With all their fucking games. All of them. You cannot tell me that a 1-year gap in between Game of Thrones and Minecraft Story Mode, not Minecraft Story Mode, Tales from Borderlands is a good fucking thing. It's not. Burnout is not a good thing. Crunch was never a good thing. It fucking kill you. That's the only way I can see them getting this. When this shit should be spread just like all these games are. That's how they were able to make so many, because they were spreading them out instead of crunching them all into one. Because if they did that, then they would have made a whole lot fucking more. And then there'd be more than you think right now. But it's tragic to see how it ended, with people confused and saddened, and the employees not knowing what to do, getting laid off, shady shit behind the scenes. I can understand the frustration. I really can. And hell, we're not even bringing up 3 canceled games after the company shut down. Another Game of Thrones, another Wolf Among Us, which is actually coming out anyway. So if they would have kept going, you would have had these 3 games going in fucking between. Companies do not let people get away with it. Crunch is not a good thing. It can kill you. Burnout exists. Crunch is bad. No. Ugh. But there's a whole nother thing I have yet to talk about. Look at all this licensing. CSI. And fucking Law and Order. Jurassic Park. Yeah, they started fucking early. Back to the Future. But these were actually fucking good. These were good. Can't say much about Jurassic Park. Back to the Future was fucking great. But I only see, in terms of major, like, I see CSI, Wallace and Gromit, Back to the Future, Jurassic Park, and Law and Order. But again, those were spread out. And you had 3 seasons of Sam and Max. Fucking LucasArts helped Tales of Monkey Island. There were people there who were working with that company who originally made the first 4 games with LucasArts, who helped them with Tales. Borderlands, Game of Thrones, Minecraft, Batman, Guardians of the Galaxy, more Batman, more. And then they would have put more money at Stranger Things and Game of Thrones, which is a waste of fucking money. I do want to compare. I think licensing may be a big part of why games are not the way they were, because if you're throwing so much money at licensing, like, it cannot be cheap to get licensing for Stranger Things or Batman and Guardians of the Galaxy. Not so sure about Minecraft, Borderlands, because those are game licenses, but these film and television licenses, like Game of Thrones and fucking Batman, and The Walking Dead's the fucking comics, right? Well, Michonne is from the show, but and that cannot be cheap. And that's a lot of money being thrown. Why do you think these WWE games are so fucking bad? Because they don't have any fucking money. Because it used to be, okay, we'll get a couple big name artists, like Breaking Benjamin and Skillet, or whoever the fuck else. And let's just get a bunch of people who nobody's ever heard of and put them on our soundtracks. Nowadays, 2K is incompetent. Since 2K15, they've been getting all these licenses for all these big name artists. Every single one of them, mainstream, can't be cheap. Where the fuck does the rest of the money go? Into the fucking game. Plus contracts. None of this helps. None of this helps. None of this helps. I think the new Telltale is going to go completely fucking wrong and disappoint these fans again when they put out the next Wolf Among Us. It is confirmed under a new company. I don't remember what it was, but I don't know. I don't think, the way I see it, at one point they were getting a bit good with the dramatic side of things with the first season of The Walking Dead, but then they started going downhill because when you factor in having to work on many different games at once for years in a row and 2, 3, 4 fucking seasons of it, you're not going to be able to write much, and you're going to run out of fucking ideas. And the other thing being, okay, remember these characters who survived and we're never fucking seen again? That doesn't help either. It doesn't. And the stories never carry over all that much. See, this is part of why I stopped after the first fucking season of The Walking Dead. It was fucking great. I played it all through. And after that, no, I just didn't have a care in the world. But I grew up during this era of the Sam and Maxes and the Strong Bads, and these are the games I play to this day because they can still be funny. Funny is a whole lot different than sad. There's only so many sad stories that you can write, but you can write an unlimited amount of jokes. Four seasons of The Walking Dead was going to end up being tiring eventually, and 2 of Batman and potentially 2 of Game of Thrones would have been exhausting, and no one really had a care in the world to finish anything. And I never cared to go back because, again, I prefer the dog and the bunny over the wolf and the child, to be perfectly honest. I prefer the swashbuckling pirate who doesn't know what he's doing and the fucking ghost pirate over fucking Batman and a robot like Claptrap. No, get these games. These games can still be funny. They still can be. You can only cry so much. You can only get emotional so much with a game. And then it's just gonna run out and it's gonna be like, oh, it's just a game. That shit runs out. And eventually it becomes tiresome and boring. They should not have made so many Walking Dead games. Even as spread out as they were, because they were still working on other shit in between. And the DLCs are fucking shit. That don't help either. If you disagree with me, that's fine. I'm just trying to prove a point. This is not normal. This is crunch, and this is fucking murder. I feel sorry for the people who worked there. What's even worse is they had over 200 employees, I think, when they disbanded. I could probably tell you that the 14 or whatever who worked on these first few games were having a fucking ball, and they were spreading them out. You can only go so far with emotion, dedication, crunch, exhaustion. It does hurt. It does. It's sad. It's sad that it ended the way it did. And I think they could have put. Excuse me. I think they could have pushed it further. They would stay. But they weren't making any money. Nobody cared. They stopped caring. That's why their numbers went down. I think Monkey Island was fucking IGN Game of the Year, or was nominated, something like that, when it came out. You can only go so far. It's almost as if they get in the fucking writer's room after every season and just be like, alright, who do we leave behind? Who do we bring back? Who do we leave behind? Who's new? Which is predominant over the people who come back. Meanwhile, all 3 seasons of Sam and Max, most of those characters came back. Most of them. There were some new ones like Satan, Mama Bosco in season 2, but there's plenty who survived. 2 or all 3 of them. It's sad. And one can only hope that they've figured this shit out. What I think they should do is just cut this dramatic shit right now, because it's fucking plain to see that they were not good at it. That's just me. We can debate. I don't fucking care. They do have a legacy. I think everybody can agree on that. They made you laugh, they made you cry. And just like point and click games, everything they do is innovative. They made it better. And I think we can all agree on, we can hope that whatever they do next with this new company is great and they can get back on the groove. But if they do the shit that they were doing with these time frames here, no, they're gonna be deader. They're gonna be deader than a possum on the side of the road. And we don't really want that. We want them to succeed. Just like in any company, except for EA and 2K and Ubisoft. But I think whether you were a fan of Sam and Max, or Bone, or Batman, Wolf Among Us, I think we were all fans of Telltale, to a degree. All we can do is keep playing their games, keep their legacy alive, because they have one. I know I'll definitely try to. I'm rambling. That's all I've got. Thank you if you took the time to watch this. I hope anything I said made the slightest of sense. But, if you enjoyed, like, sub, hit the bell, because apparently you're supposed to say that now. And I'll see you in the next confessional. Or whatever I make next. Thank you, and sorry for how I am with all this goddamn mumbling and rambling. But from the bottom of my heart, thank you.